Hello, everyone. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations. I just need to do slight shifting of yarn because I don't want to move my yarn. I'm on a roll. So I want to keep working on these that I've started this morning. I did a video early on this morning talking about our wonderful Lucas's project at Lucas Yarns. And if you go back to my video from this morning, I put a link to Lucas's video on introducing this project, as well as I did week one. And I'm using the book that I put in the other room because I've got the pattern in my head now, so I don't necessarily need the book. But I was going to show you, I've made some blocks already, and I've made 5 blocks so far using my 8 colors and then my border color of the forest green. Hi, Sherry. I need to block off some of this sun because it's kind of washing me out. Give me a sec. Just close the curtain. Sorry, Howie, you're getting put behind the curtain, but you get the sunshine this way, buddy. Okay, you can come out the end over here. All right, did that help? Oh, it did. Okay. Hi, Heather. So I'm going to quickly show the what are they called? Granny hexagons that I've done so far, and I'm putting them on a quilt pin, because I have several of these, and I was thinking, because it can go all the way around the pin this way, I could probably get about 10, maybe more than that on each pin. And so this was the first one. And there was my second one. There's third. And then fourth. And my fifth one. This is the one I made during Ann's live. So that's how the Granny Hexie. I don't know why I can't remember that. But these are the Granny Hexies. And as far as what else I'm working in crochet right now, I started this shawl, and I'll have to go in search of the pattern because I started it, and yeah, I'm using Bernay Sheepish by Vicki Howell, which this is an old yarn. This has probably I got it. Somebody sent it to me, or I got it at the thrift store. I don't know. I got it. So this is this shawl that I'm working on. And I've already used one skein, and this one's almost done. And then I have 3 more. So I'll just keep going until I've used this yarn up. This yarn has some special care requirements. You can machine wash it, but you have to lay it flat to dry because it is 30% wool. You wouldn't want to put this in the dryer. So it's worked entirely of treble crochet. And each time you go back and forth, it creates this real pretty kind of lacy pattern. And I'm just really loving how it's turning out. Super easy pattern. If I can find the link to the pattern again, I will post it below so you can go. But it was just a blog, I think, that I found that had it. So that's a project I have in the works. I'm doing Lucas's project. And then I'm trying to get caught up with Catherine. And I'm coming late to the game because I decided I want to do her stitch projects. Mary's doing these as well. And they're putting them in a book. But I had these wooden scroll, like wooden spools. So I want to make a scroll with mine. So far I've just got the first week done. And the word for that week was community. So I have stitched this on. I've added some beadwork. I have also, I've done a couple others. So these aren't in the order that she's doing them. Let me see if I can find them. Here we go. I have started a couple others. Like here's the English paper piece. So I've got more of this linen that I got in as a remnant at Joann's. And I'm just doing these like Carol suggested when she was doing the scroll with us, to just do short sections just for ease in handling, and then you just sew them together as you go. So there's that one, and then I'll have this off farther down the line because this is several weeks. So you're supposed to have like a hidden message inside, and the only hidden message I have on mine, because I pulled the papers out. I'm going to stitch this down, but there's a cat right there. So I figured that would be good enough. And then that's just an empty one I haven't filled yet. Now this one I'm going to attach to my piece here by a button because the back has, and you're supposed to put something you love underneath it, I think. And I know Catherine put her two grandmothers under there. So I'll find something to put under there. But that'll be on my scroll as well, farther down. And I'm thinking I might turn the edge under. I don't know. Like I said, I'm behind the game. I think she's on week 8 of this project, and this is what I've gotten done. So I'm trying to make myself, more accountable. So that's the stitching project I have going. I'm thinking, that's why I went quiet. Sorry about that. So that's what I'm going to do with my stitch lessons with Catherine. And I need to go back and catch up with her. And of course, now I've started this project with Lucas. I'm a silly thing. And then I still have my list over here. And it's now February. The mixed Afghan has arrived at its new home. So that's good. I haven't done any more on the pink baby sweater, which it just needs one sleeve, I think, and some finishing work. I also have a tiny elephant that I forgot to show you guys. Let me grab that. Hi, Cole. I just thought I'd share the projects I'm working on, and if anything of it interests you, if you guys could just leave me a comment of what you found the most interesting. This was a pattern I started here, and it was off from a blog. Let me see if it shows a picture at the end. There he is. So I'm making this little elephant, and I found it on probably Pinterest. And so far I have 2 little legs and his trunk. That's all I've gotten done. It looks like I crocheted a piece of my hair in it. That's awesome. So there's a couple little legs and a trunk. So I have got him started. But what kills me about this project is this is the hook you use. It's a size B1 or a 2.25 millimeter. So it's really small, and he's going to be tiny because that's his trunk. You could almost take a couple stitches in there to make his trunk curl up, but it does it pretty good on its own. So that's in this little project bag that if I remember to grab it, it's one of those things I can take and work in a doctor's office if I'm, having to wait on them. So that's the elephant that I never shared. I still got 1, 2, 3 quilts to work on. And then all of these, plus, since I've crossed some things off, let me see if I can find that piece of paper. Katinka at the seamstress at the cottage, she mentioned some patterns that she was going to sew. And I told her, I said, I have Simplicity 8910. And as soon as I can see if I have the fabric, I may commit to a collaboration with her for a dress. So you guys would get to see the end result of that and my, kind of my review on it. So I'm going to add that right here. Simplicity. $89.10. And that's with Katinka. I need to go through my fabric because I need 3 5/8 if it's 45, or I need 3 yards if it's a 60-inch wide fabric to make the dress in my size. So I got that. I also picked up some fabric that I saw on clearance at Joann's to make shorts. So I want to add them to my list of to-do. Because I really need these shorts bad for next summer, which summer seems far away, but it really isn't. So the first one I found was $5.97 a yard. And it's this really cool denim wash, kind of looks fake bleached. It's just been dyed that way. And then back on the last chance table, I found this fabric, and it was like less than $5 a yard. So I'm going to make some shorts out of these two. And I need to look up on Trello. Trello is an app you can put on your phone. Let me open Trello. It's this app right there with the blue. And I've got my sewing patterns on there, but you can organize anything on there. You can see I've got patterns. This is all woven tops, woven dresses, pants, and shorts. And I bought fabric to do hang on just a second. Let's see. This one. McCall's 5857. So I'm going to add those to my list of to-dos. 5857. So I'm going to pull those two patterns and go shopping my stash to get the fabric for the dress. So you can see I'm keeping myself plenty busy and probably taking on too much, and it's really more fiber related than it is art related. I still have all of this stuff here, but I'm going to mix it up as I go along. So that's all I had to share at this moment. I was just going to chit chat with you guys for a while, so I guess I could show you my face. Excuse the mess behind me. It happens that way sometimes. And I'll go over this way. There we go. I'm really surprised the cats aren't on the catio. It's a beautiful day. It is currently, why can't I see that? 58 degrees outside. Oh, I do have one thing. I haven't clear coated it yet, but I finished blue, and I shared a picture with my sister and told her it was her late birthday. So there's the blue dog, her dog Blue. So I'm going to clear coat it. That's another thing I need to do. I'm kind of waiting for a 60-degree day so I can do it outside and have the finish set up properly. It's just been too cold. So that was a finish. It looks not too bad. It's just, I told her, I said, it's not professional. I said, but it's got a lot of love in it. So there's that. So that's my gift for my sister's 55th birthday. And we were going to try to get together between our birthdays because my birthday's next month and I'll be 60. She turned 55. I'm going to turn 60. So, yeah. I hope she'll enjoy it. She still has on her wall at her house a unicorn I did on fabric that's mounted around a piece of plywood that I did in high school. I was, I think, 16 when I did that. So yeah. Oh dear. So that's all I have to share, really. Just chit-chatting. Greg had a very long interview this morning. And I just ordered him some McDonald's and it's going to be delivered shortly.
So
You got the job?
No, I got
What?
temp service want me to be a janitor at a high school out in Irmo for $13 an hour.
Oh.
I said I'm good.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, hopefully something will come up.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just glad I made everybody laugh at the interview room when people were getting pulled off one by one and they got quiet. So I made a goofy face at someone and everybody laughed.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I like how she turned out. They have another dog named Stella, but it's not as sweet and friendly as the Great Dane. So Stella's getting missed. Blue's really my sister's dog, and Stella's really her husband's dog. So that's the difference, I think. He sounds like Scott. Yeah, they kind of sound alike, but everybody tells us that Greg is like the perfect mixture of the two of us because he looks like both of us equally. You can't say he favors one over the other because it's like he's I don't know. An even copy? I don't know. He's got my gray hair, unfortunately.
But I got your beard too.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. I ordered Greg food. I don't really have a lot more, and I'm itching to get back. Do you guys want to know how to do these hexagons? Do you want to do a hexagon together? I can show you how to do them. You can write it down, and then you can go do some yourself. Let me move Blue. I don't want the cats to get on her, so we'll hide her up under there for right now. So we could do block 6 together. Let me bring you guys over here. It's hard for me to do crochet up on the table, so I'm going to point you guys down to my lap. If I try to raise my arms up, it just hurts so unbelievably bad. So if I look at my list, we're on block 6 here. So the middle, we're going to start with 1, which is the sea green. Oh dear. Now I've got 2 hooks over here. Why do I have, oh, this goes with the shawl. This goes with the shawl. I'm going to verify this. I told you guys what size I'm using. I'm using the H hook. That's this one. Okay. My bad. All right. You start with a chain 4. So let me get a loop in here. You'll rewatch later. That's fine. I got way too long of a tail. Hang on. The main reason I put the book in the other room is it's in Imperial, is that what it's called? Um, when it says treble crochet, it's a US double crochet. So I just took it out because I'm going to give you US terms. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the 4th chain from the hook, which is your very first chain, you're going to do a double crochet. And then you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to do 2 double crochets all in the same chain space. So do 2 doubles. 1, 2, 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And then you're going to do a chain 1. Then you do 2 double crochets. And then you chain 1. So every time you've done 2 double crochets, then you're going to do a chain 1. So if you've done 2 double crochets, go ahead, chain 1, then do 2 more double crochets. 1. And I'm catching my tail as I go. 2, chain 1. We got to do it 2 more times. 1, 2, and then chain 1, and then do 2 more. 1, 2. It gets a little tight when you get around, but once you're around, I'm going to take my last of my tail and just put it toward the back so it's back there out of my way. Chain 1, and then you're to slip stitch in the 3rd chain and the beginning chain. So I'm going to go into just the top of it. So the top loops at the top, 1, 2, and you have 1 loop that runs behind your hook. Go ahead and slip stitch through that with this color. Then in the next stitch here, you want to slip stitch into it. And this is where we're going to add our new color. And I'm just going to, you're going to freak out, but I'm just going to cut that. The next color we need is 6, which is the heather. And that's why. Oh, and I did cake up a skein of each of the colors. Some of the colors I had more than one skein, but for right now, I just caked up one of each color. So I'm going to go ahead and put a loop in it. This is probably not how most people do it, but this is how I'm doing it. I'm going to slip stitch that through, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the space here and chain 3, but I want to catch the cream tail. So I'm going to bring that tail over here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do a double crochet, chain 1, do 2 double crochets, all in this first space. This is going to create a corner, just like in regular granny squares, but we're going to have 5 of them when we get done, if I remember right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we're going to have 6. All right, we're going to have 6 of these. I'm going to put this tail toward the back again. So I've got all my tails at the back. So now what you're going to do is you chained 1 at there. You're going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then a chain 1, and then 2 double crochets. So into each space on this round, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then go to the next space, do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, 2 double crochets all the way around. So you end up with 6 of these shells that are the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets around. Chain 1, go to the next space. There's 1, 2, chain 1. But you join your yarn any way that you're used to doing it. I am doing it slightly weird. The tails do kind of get in the way a little bit, but you can work them in as you go if you want to. That's what Lucas said. He's decided he's working his in as he goes. Do another shell of the 2 double crochets, chain 1. And there's always a chain 1 after you've completed the 2 double crochets. I just keep reiterating that so you remember. I could take the time to sew those in so they weren't in my way. All right, and then chain 1, and then 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then we're gonna switch colors again. So we'll slip stitch into the 3rd chain on the hook, and then we'll go and see what color we need next. And I was kind of planning to just do this for the rest of today. So 1, 2, 3. I bet that's them saying the food's delivered. Greg's starving because he's been at that interview since 9 o'clock this morning. All right, and then I've slip stitched into that 3rd chain. I'm going to insert my hook into the top of the next stitch, and then I'm going to cut my thread away, and what color are we going to next? Number 5, which is the sunny day. Oh, sunny day. Oh, Pam had to go. Okay. Let's see here. Everybody's watching. Hi, Barbara Clark. She says, hi, Becky. Hi, chat. This is called a granny hexie. Did they not give you a drink?
Oh, it's in there.
The drink is in the bag?
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Anyway, okay, sorry. Got distracted by the boy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and then slip stitch over into the space. Uh-oh, I'm tangled. What did I do? Oh, I see. All right, what have I done? There we go. Okay. All right, then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope, I didn't chain over. I didn't get over into the space. I had to back up. Get into your space. Slip stitch into that space. This is the square. They're hexagon grannies. All right, chain 3. This is the chain 3 is your first double crochet, then double crochet and chain 1, and then do 2 more double crochets. 1, 2, and chain 1. All right, now you've got a space in between the shells, and you're going to work just 2 double crochets, chain 1 in that space, and then you'll do another shell there. So these shells here act as your corners or your points of your hexagon. So every time you get to a shell, you know you're going to work a shell into it. And in between those, you have a space where you're going to put just 2 double crochets. You can't do a standard granny square with the hexagons and do a count of 3, or it's going to be completely weird, they said in the book. It would not work out for you. So you put 2 in here. So 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and then we're going to work the 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and then in this space you're going to put just 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then chain 1, then do 2 double crochets, 2, chain 1, do 2 more double crochets because we're in a shell here, 2, and chain 1. Oh, had a yarn glob come out. All right, so again, we're in the space between 2 shells. So we're going to do 2 double crochets. And then we're going to work a shell of 2 double crochets. I did a video this morning about why I'm making these. I'm participating in Lucas Yarn's roll of the dice. He has 10 colors. I only had 8, so I had to make some adjustments. And then chain 1. All right, so there's a shell and a shell. We got a space. So 2 double crochets there and a chain 1. We got a shell, so we're going to put a double crochet, a chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then chain 1. So every time there's 2 double crochets that have been made, you're going to do a chain 1 after, and then in the spaces in between, it's 2 double crochets, and I'll stop and read chat when I get to the end of this round. We have one more round, and then the border color, and then this block is done. That's why I thought I would share it with you guys. We have one more space after this shell is complete. And at this point, you'll see where it's becoming a hexagon. And I know Lucas is doing a traditional granny square. I just wanted to be different, and I wanted to learn this. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the top of the third chain of the beginning chain. Get that through there, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the next one, and then I'm just going to clip this and put this back on the color it is. And I got to let the cat out, of course. It might be warm enough. We can leave it propped, and you guys can go in and out. Just don't let the lizards come in the house. And don't bring one in either. All right. It's called Sunny Day. It's a loops and threads yarn, and that color is called Sunny Day. So you can see now it's starting to get hexy shaped like these. And so now we need our 4th color for round 8 is number 8, which is butterscotch. So we're going to have 2 yellows, and this is the first time I've used this yellow for this project. And I'm just going to slip stitch it in here. I'll take care of that tail in a minute. Slip stitch into your space, and then you just do the same thing, except this time you're going to have more spaces to fill with the just the two double crochets together. So begin with a chain 3. 1, 2. Uh-oh. It's split. That's one thing about the loops and threads yarn that I find a little on the irritating side. It does split easy. So now I'm going to do a double crochet. I'll show you what I mean about the spaces. And then you chain 1 after you do chain 3, then you do a double crochet, chain 1, do 2 more double crochets. So they called this something, and I can't remember the name. But I look at it as it's my points of my hexagon. So now you can see between this shell and this shell, you now have 2 spaces there. 1, 2. So you're going to do just like you did here and put 2 double crochets and a chain 1 into those. Easy peasy. Chain 1, then do 2 double crochets. Chain 1, then do a shell, so 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 1, then do 2 more because this is a shell and a shell. I'm really enjoying the book that I have on the different hexagon blocks, but I do have to really, when I'm learning it, I have to remember that those are in English terms, not USA terms. So you have to kind of look up that difference because they call a double a treble. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1. I'm going to be thinking that all night long. 2 double crochets, chain 1. Because that's basically the stitch, except when you get to the shells, then you do 2 double crochets, chain 1 twice in those spots. So you're making a shell. Chain 1, do 2 more double crochets. Chain 1. But now that I've got this in my head, I could probably sit and do these while I watched a movie. Now, he said we're doing this for 6 weeks, and he's aiming for a huge blanket. I'm going to wait and see what he says next week because he said he might modify this count because for this week alone, we're doing 20 blocks. I'm on block 6 right now, which I'll be able to do this before next week, but I don't think I have enough yarn. He has 2 skeins of every single one of his colors, and he said if he runs out of a color because of the way the randomness is of it, he will just adjust and switch to a different color of what he has left until he's used all of his yarn, I guess. I don't know. I guess we're just going to play it by ear and see how it goes. But like I said, some of my skeins I had just 1 skein. Some of my colors I had 2 skeins, and some of them I had 3 skeins. I had 3 skeins of the green. That's why I went for it as my border color. I have 3 of the red, and I think 3 of the blue haze, the baby blue. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I just thought it sounded like such a fun way to do an Afghan that I definitely wanted to play along. When he started talking about it in one of his videos, I was like, that is going to be so much fun. So it's all very random. And he just shook the dice. He has those funny dice that have 10 sides on them. And he did all of the numbers today, this morning, earlier today. And so that's why I have the list. But like I said in this morning's video that I did real quick, I had to change the 9s and the 10s to other numbers. So hopefully mine will have enough variance in it to be interesting. And he is using a more of a bone color, off-white for his borders. So our and he's doing traditional granny square. So our Afghans are going to look totally different. I will send a picture of mine in for his roundup at the end. Today is Wednesday, so I'm kind of hoping Scott and I can do a date night tonight. We haven't gone out to eat as our weekly. We were doing it every Wednesday. Wednesday would be our go out to eat night, but we haven't been doing it lately. Last night, I forgot he said he was going to stop and pick up chicken livers, and I made flounder and cauliflower and mixed vegetables. He said it didn't matter. So that was my last chain two. I mean, two double crochets, chain one, and then I'm going to join here in the top of the third chain. I said I was trying to go through just the top two. Violet and Mary Lou taught me that if you just go in underneath there and you don't go through just those top two stitches, that's how you get those holes open up. So I was like, okay. All right, so I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, and I'm just going to cut my tail free on butterscotch. That's the name of that color, it's butterscotch. And I'm going to grab my green, which is the color I'm using as my border, and this block will be done. Thank you, Janet. It's Lucas Yarns, LucasYarn. I put a link to his channel in my last video. To the first two videos are in there. All right, then I'm going to slip stitch over into the first hole, and we're going to do the same thing, except now if you look between the two shells, now we have 3 spaces that we have to put 2. So every time you go around this thing, you're going to be doing additional 2 double crochets, chain ones in the spaces between the two, what I'm calling corners or points. Yes, that's it. Lucas Yarns. So let's go ahead and get our tail up here, and I'll catch some of it. I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, a double crochet, a chain 1, and then 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, and then a chain 1. And then you're going to do the 2 double crochets in the spaces. You're going to do shells in the shells, and that's all there is to it. Just getting that first couple rows done, with the right count is the biggest thing, because you don't want to mess that up. You're welcome. Lucas is new to me. I learned about him over on Shannon's channel, Art Junkie's channel. He had popped in there, and I thought, how cool. He's in my neighbor state of Georgia. And He is using the yarn from Schitt's Creek yarn. It's based off that TV show, I think. So he has all 10 colors. So his will be more involved, but he's using a lot. His colors contain a lot of grays, tans, beige, and then he's using that cream color, but he also has some yellow, some wine, tan, green, rose, light blue, brown, turquoise. So I pulled this yarn out and I just substituted for some of them, and then I realized I only had 8 colors, but he said just use what you have. So that is what I'm doing. Yes, he has some 10-sided dice and he shakes them and rolls them, and then he just gave the numbers this morning. If you have 10 colors, you wouldn't have to change it. You would just do what he, rolled. Now he did have some zeros that I think he substituted as 10s. So when he got a 0, he called them a 10. The biggest thing he wanted to do is when he rolled the dice, he wanted all of the numbers to be different. So like say he rolled a number and it had like 2 5s and then 2 other numbers that were different. He would take the 2 5s and shake them again so that he would have a different color for every round. So he rolled 4 numbers, and then this pattern is a 5-row pattern. So I'm just using the first 4 rows as my color, and then I'm going ahead and putting the green on for my border color. So that's how he's doing it. He's really fun to watch too. He got in some real pretty yarn the other week. He shared a big box that came in. So he does yarn shares, pattern shares, that kind of thing. Does a little bit of chit chat, kind of like the rest of us do on our channels. Okay, I'm at the shell, so that's 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and you're off. Super fast pattern. Like I said, crocheting up in the air like this is killing my shoulders. So when I finish this block, I'm going to have to go somewhere else and sit. Might sit out on the porch. It's quite nice. The only thing is, all my yarn's right here. So if you want to do some hexies and you want to play along, now you know how to do the hexagon granny or granny hexagon, whatever, however it goes. When I realized this particular pattern in the book had granny in it, I could say that I was also doing a granny square, but it's a hexie instead. And that way I'd be kind of like Lucas. So if you like to crochet, Lucas is a lot of fun. And his channel's growing nicely. And he comes and hangs out with Shannon and the rest of us on Wednesdays, which I got to watch because she'll be on in not too long. Again, it's the 2 double crochets, chain 1 is the basic thing, except for when you hit the corner, you have to do the shell, which is the same thing. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1. I try to repeat it over and over until it sticks in my head. And even when I'm sitting here by myself, I'll say it out loud over and over until it's like, oh, I can do this in my sleep now. And when I can relax my arm down, I can go even faster. But it's not a speed. It's not a race. I can always tell when I mess up and accidentally put 3 in because it looks really weird. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the granny square that's going around in one of those little blurbs you see on Facebook, where the internal part of it, I'm about to die to learn how to make that square, but it's a spiral in the middle that looks like a sunburst. I want to learn to do that so bad, but one Afghan at a time. I'm thinking I might just do Afghans with the blankets I have, with the blankets, with the yarns I have that have been gifted to me, and that they'll be what I give for Christmas and birthdays and stuff throughout the year. Pick an Afghan, that kind of thing. And I do pick a lot of my yarns up at the thrift store. So and now I've got to go back and sew in all my ends. So go ahead and join with the slip stitch into the top of the third chain. And then I'm going to snippety dip it here and then pull through my loop. So there's number 6. So now I just got to do this, and I got to sew in all these ends. And where I just snipped the thread and didn't, like on here, I drew up my loop and then I pulled the thread all the way through that loop. Here, that's not been done. So what I do, I am going to thread my yarn needle. And I'm just going to do kind of like a blanket stitch over that stitch where I ended, like that, just to kind of lock it right there. And then I'm going to sew this in. And when I sew it in, I kind of try to break into the fibers of the yarn, not just go through here, but through the thread. All right. And then I'm going to turn and I'm going to go in at a different location and maybe try to get into the thread so that I've gone through this part inside there so that it doesn't work itself free when it's in the laundry. And now see, I can just snip that close now that it's been sewn in. And so I'll do that. This little tail, I'll go ahead and sew back in because remember I carried it this way. So I'll just work my needle through because I want this to last, and I'm going to line this up with the hole in the needle, the eye of the needle. Go ahead and thread the needle a little bit here because this is such a short piece. And then I'll pull it back through here. And then I can snip this off. And I'll just keep doing that with all of these until it's smooth like the rest of them. All right. And this will join its friends here. So again, if you missed those, these are the ones I've done so far. Today, I've done these today. And I'm going to go back and watch some more videos. And I'm going to take a picture of this because I want to do a collage picture of all of my squares so that I can share them and get Lucas some more traffic on his channel. So I'm going to share these. Once I get all 20 done on here, I'm going to check this off. That one's been done. So now I'll do 7. And then he had originally said I'm going to do 2 a day, so 14. So then he refigured his figures to end up with a blanket the size he wants to do. So he came back at the end of the video and he added 6 more. So 20 of these blocks a week in 6 weeks. So he'll have, how many blocks is he aiming to have? My math is gone. So he's got 20 blocks, 6 weeks, 6 times 2, 100, 120 of these blocks is what he's aiming at. Yes, it will look very much like a grandmother's flower garden. It will. Won't that be nice? So I'm going to sew in my tails, and then I'll do number 7, which will be grape purple, sea green, cherry, and pumpkin. That'll be interesting. All right. Hi, Safia. I was just about to sign off. We just finished this block. So if you're interested in learning how to make these blocks, you have to go back and check. Super easy once you get this. You got to get the center right, so you have the right count around. But once you get the first 2 rows done, it's just a matter of repeating the shells on the points and the 2 double crochets in the spaces in between. Super easy. All right. I will see some of you guys tomorrow. I might not be able to stay all day. We'll see. But anyway, it's been a wonderful visit, and I hope to see you guys around the interwebs. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for being here. Love y'all. Bye.